Hello eyeshadow lovers, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be filming a review and eye look with the Ace Beauté Blossom Passion palette. So I just recently got this palette in the mail. Even though it's an old palette, I thought today I felt like doing an eye look kind of with the red, pink, purple vibe. And if you look at this palette, there is kind of a more purpley corner over here. There are kind of more muted pinks in here. There's a bright red. There's a very dark kind of eggplanty section. And there's a very kind of blush pink section up here. So it has a lot, and yeah, so I thought I would do an eye look and a review of this palette just so you guys could see if this is something you're interested in. Okay, so I think I'm going to go more purple with this look just because I really love the purple tones in here and I really want to use this kind of bright pink matte. So I'm going to use that and I think I'm going to deepen it with kind of this dark color and maybe smoke it out. And then I think I'm going to go in with this kind of purpley pink shimmer right here. So yeah, I think that's the direction I want to go. I don't know, it might be a little too bright for what I'm wearing. But I don't know, those are the colors that I really want to test out right now. So let's get started. I'm going to start with my E40 blending brush, and I'm just going to take this shade called Gardenia, and it's a very light kind of brown transition shade, and I'm just going to put that right in my crease, just kind of to set my base and to just kind of get a light start. And I love when palettes put kind of this like perfect transition shade in there for me, just because my base is pretty sticky. My eyes are all concealed and primed with the Sigma eyeshadow base primer, and I don't like putting colored mattes directly onto like a sticky primer, so I do like kind of starting with this transition. So now I'm going to go in with the color Love, and it's like a very bright pink matte. It's kind of magenta, purpley. I don't know how to describe it, but I'm going to just put it on the E40 and just tap it kind of into the crease right over that transition color. And on my eyes, it is pink, but it's not as pink as it looks in the pan. As you can see, it's actually quite beautiful. It's like still very hot pink, but not like as intensely overwhelming as it looks in the pan. So I'm gonna take a little bit more and really get that color to stick. So now that I have this, I'm going to start kind of deepening up the outer corner here, and I think I'm actually going to use this color Lust, and it's sort of this like, it looks red on camera, but it actually looks like a dark brown in the pan. So I'm going to take this small Exact blend brush, and I'm going to kind of dip into the color Lust. It's very, very pretty. And I'm going to put that on the outer edge. And it does actually look quite light on the eyes. I really do like this. It's kind of like a purpley red matte. I'm gonna put this on the other side. Just gonna keep patting the color in just to get it nice and dark the way I like it. Okay, and now I'm going to blend it all out with that pink that I like. my E40 just to get it nice and blended. And just to kind of get rid of these harsh edges, I'm softening it. Alright, so now I'm going to pick my lid shimmer, and I think I want to use, so there is this more kind of purpley pink one that I like. I also kind of like this magenta one. So I think I'm going to go with Beauty on the center of the lid, and I'm going to use kind of this shade Peony up here as the inner corner. So let me just take Beauty on a shader brush. Ooh, and this is very buttery, very like creamy almost. It looks really good. So put that in the middle of the lid. I'm kind of starting with it not sprayed, but I might actually end up spraying this because it's like a very, very creamy shimmer, and it actually might even work better with my hand. Okay, so I'm actually gonna see what happens when I spray this. Because it's so creamy, it is like moving in the pan. So let's see what happens. It is much nicer when I spray it. I do really like that. Very pretty. Okay, so I am going to continue spraying this shade. I'm going to put it on my other eye. I will also try it with my finger on this eye just to give you a sense of what it looks like. So let me pick this up. It's a very, very interesting shade, I will say. It almost feels like clay. It's very pretty. It's very like wet, very... Okay, I mean, I like it. I think the brush is much easier with this color. It's a lot more precise because it kind of feels like a gel almost. So you kind of have to be careful with where you put it. Okay, so let me quickly fix some things here. I'm just gonna blend up here, get rid of that shimmer in the crease. Okay, so that is really, really pretty. It's not very glittery. It's very like clay-like, very wet, very kind of like cold almost to the touch. It's interesting. So I do really like that. And then I'm going to go in with the shade Peony in my inner corner. I'm going to use my shader brush again, and I'm going to go into the shade Peony. Just very, very pretty. This one is more like crumbly, you can see it on the brush, and not as like wet as Beauty was. So let's see how this applies. It's pretty good so far. I think this one would work better sprayed, so I will do that. Very pretty. I'm gonna just dab that on the other side as well. It's very pretty. It's kind of a multi-chrome-esque shade. It kind of goes from pink to silver. It's very, very stunning. Okay, and I'm just gonna take some of Peony and I'm gonna kind of dab it on my under eye. Straight in the inner corner. Take it down here as well. Okay, so there is that. So now for my lower lash line, I think I'm going to put I think I'm gonna put Lust on my under eye. So let me take my pencil brush. I'm gonna go into Lust, which is that red kind of dark matte I used. I'm just gonna run that on the lower lash line. And I love this palette, so working with it, it is really, really pigmented, very blendable, very pretty. And this is the reformulated palette, so congrats to Ace Beauté for coming up with a great reformulation after listening to customers sort of complain about their old palettes. Like, this is a really great response. So yeah, I think they did great. I really enjoyed using this. I will say the one shade that is weird is that sort of purple shimmer shade I told you guys about. That is sort of like, it's almost like a gel in the pan. It's definitely different. And maybe it's just me, but I definitely had a hard time figuring out kind of how to apply that and really make it work. Okay, so that is Lust on the lower lash line. And okay, so overall I really like this palette. I think this color story is really, really pretty. It's very pink, red, purple. Yeah, I feel like these shadows are really easy to work with. I feel like they are very blendable, they're very buildable. I do wish there was a little bit more variety in this palette. There is a matte black and there is a very light color, which I appreciate because it goes light to dark. But a lot of the other shades are very like mid-toned kind of red pink shades. So I do wish they had maybe a little bit more variety in this palette. It's kind of very one-toned, but for what it is really good. I honestly prefer this actually to the Natasha Denona Love palette, which is the first sort of comparison that came to mind for me. And I actually might do a video kind of swatching and comparing the two palettes to see if they are dupes, because I think this is much more interesting. But again, I will say this shade right here, Beauty, it's so creamy and like buttery, and like it's like it's almost like somewhere between a solid and a liquid in the pan, and so it is somewhat hard to apply. I used a brush and I used my fingers, but the shade is sort of like hard to pick up because when you press into it, it just presses the product and it doesn't really pick up. So it is kind of hard to work with in that way, but it's very, very beautiful. Like, I don't know. So I think I just have to play with that shade more and figure out what's going on. But I think the mattes, especially in this palette, are really, really good. Like, these are great mattes. They are not patchy. They very, very nicely blend. They go where you want them to. So yeah, they are super, super good. Okay, so I'm going to put on my lashes and my mascara and then show you guys the final look. Okay guys, so here is the finished look with my liner and my mascara. Okay, So I really like this look. I really think it is so pretty. It's so almost like natural looking, despite being like a very bright color. I really like the colors in this palette. Like I said earlier, you know, I do wish there was a little bit more variety, maybe a pop of something else, but for a pink purple palette, this is really quite a staple. If these are the tones that you like, if these are the tones that you want, this is a great like staple pink, purple, red palette to have in your collection. So yeah, this is really great. I think I'm going to do a video eventually that I'm going to compare all my pink, purple, red palettes in, and this is definitely going to be high on the list. I really liked it. This look turned out really beautifully, and yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you like content like this, I am an eyeshadow only channel. I only do eyeshadow related content, so you know, if that's what you're looking for, if you're mostly interested in eye makeup and you kind of find yourself scrolling through videos to find the part that is eye makeup, then this is the channel for you. So definitely like this video, subscribe, so you don't miss any more content. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is really great.